Hello, this is David Zemach-Bersin, and I'm going to lead you in a short lesson which will use slow, gentle movements to lead you into a state of deep relaxation and calm. Please lie on your back and just sense and feel your contact with the floor, just in a simple, uncritical sort of way, just observing how some parts of your spine are touching the floor. Maybe some others are not, but please don't change anything. The contact of your pelvis with the floor. You can feel maybe one side of your pelvis lies more heavily upon the floor than the other. And your shoulder blades. There's the contact with the floor of your right shoulder blade and your left. And you can feel they're not exactly the same. If you would like, you can bend your knees, stand your feet, place your feet about shoulder width apart, or maybe a tiny bit more, and the heels of your feet are directly beneath your knees. Or you can leave your legs straight. Either way is fine. And now slowly stretch out your right arm so that your right arm is perpendicular to your torso in a line with your shoulder. Bend your right elbow so that your lower arm is vertical, pointed towards the ceiling. In this way, your upper arm and your lower arm are making the shape of a letter L. And your wrist is bent and your hand is hanging. Your palm is facing the floor that is below you, below your legs. And now very slowly begin to make a small movement of opening your hand by raising your fingers towards the ceiling and then letting your hand hang or fall in such a way that as your hand falls or bends, your fingers come toward one another. And then as you open your hand and your fingers move toward the ceiling, your hand opens and your fingers separate a little bit from one another. It's a small movement. You do it slowly with a slight pause between each movement, meaning each movement of raising your hand and allowing your hand to open a little bit. Not all the way, it's not a stretch. And then when your hand hangs, falls down, your fingers begin to close as if you are going to make a fist. But you don't make a fist. You only close the hand until you feel your thumb and the pads of your fingers begin to touch. And then you slowly begin to open your hand and raise your fingers toward the ceiling. So you just do this slowly. Now, as you open your hand, move your eyes a little bit upwards, as if you wanted to look at something above your head. And then as you close your right hand, that little bit, you look down with your eyes. So it's very simple. The movement of opening your hand, which of course is not a big opening, but just a very slight opening. You look up with your eyes, and then as your hand folds and moves down, you look down with your eyes. Very simple. And your breathing is easy. You just feel where you can do less effort, less work, so that the movement of the hand becomes almost so simple that it's taking place in the background. It's just your right hand, that little opening in which the fingers move toward the ceiling, and that little closing in which your hand goes down. The fingers come together a little bit. You look down with your eyes, and then as you open your hand, you look up with your eyes with the movement of the hand. And now try the opposite movement of your eyes. See what happens if, as you open your hand, you look down with your eyes, and as you close your hand, look up with your eyes. That's the opposite of what you were doing a moment ago. Your breathing is simple still. The movement is slow, unhurried. And now go ahead and let your eyes move in the original synchronized way. Your eyes going down as your hand closes, your eyes going upwards as your hand opens. Good. And please rest. Rest your right arm on the floor. And just observe if you feel a difference in the sensation of your right hand, your right arm, the right side of your face, the right side of your neck compared to the left. Observe, does your right eye feel somehow larger than your left eye? And feel when you inhale and your lower abdomen gets larger, see if you can feel that in fact the right side of your lower abdomen is a little more relaxed or softer, expanding a little more than the left side of your lower abdomen. And now bring your left arm to be perpendicular to the left shoulder. Bend your elbow so that your left hand is vertical. In this way, your upper arm and your lower arm are making the shape of a letter L. And your wrist is bent and your hand is hanging. Do the same simple movement of this very slight closing with the fingers coming toward each other as the hand bends, the wrist hangs, and then as you slightly open the hand, your fingers become more pointed towards the ceiling. And you make that movement of your left hand soft, easy, pleasant to you, comfortable to you. It's not a matter of doing the movement nicely or doing it well, doing it correctly. And the point is to just do what's simple and easy for you. And you'll find with this kind of attitude and doing the movement in this kind of minimal way, the movement will improve spontaneously. Now, as you open your hand, look up with your eyes, and then as your hand folds and moves down, you look down with your eyes. Very simple. And your breathing is easy. There's an interesting sort of way in which it's almost the feeling that the movement of your eyes is closing your hand, or that the closing of the hand is bringing your eyes downwards. And then when you open your hand, there's nothing that could be simpler than looking upwards, as if you wanted to see something above the top of your head. but your forearm remains perpendicular to the floor, perpendicular to the ceiling. It's a movement of your hand and your wrist, not of your arm. And now do the opposite movement with your eyes and see if that movement of your eyes makes a difference in your sensation of your left hand. Your hands and your eyes are very wired together. And this connection in our brain between our hand and our eyes can be used very effectively to change the state of our nervous system. And now move your eyes with the movement of the hand. In other words, the eyes moving downwards just easily without any strain as you close your hand, and your eyes gliding upwards as you open your hand. Rest again for a moment. If you've been having your knees bent, please stretch out your legs. Separate your legs about shoulder width apart and begin to do a very small movement of flexing and extending your right foot. That means you move your right foot a little bit towards your shin and then a little bit away. And you just do what's easy and simple, just moving your right foot toward you, and we could call that flexing your foot, and moving your foot away from you, and we could say that's extending your foot. And just feel where you can do less. See if you exhale as you flex the foot, if that makes it a little easier to flex your right foot. And now slowly stretch out your right arm again so that your right arm is perpendicular to your torso in a line with your shoulder. Bend your right arm again so that your forearm is vertical, pointed towards the ceiling. And now slowly return to that opening and closing of your right hand as you flex and extend your right foot. You might feel that each time you open your hand, you're doing the same movement with your right foot. Each time you open your hand, you're either flexing or extending the foot, and each time you close your hand, you're doing the opposite movement with your foot. Try closing your right hand and flexing your right foot. And then, of course, when you open your right hand, you extend your right foot. And now try the opposite, meaning that as you open your hand, you flex the foot, and as you close your right hand, you extend your right foot. And you see if one of those two ways feels easier or simpler to you. And please stop, rest for a moment, and observe the right side of yourself as it lies on the floor compared to the left side of yourself. The right side of your face compared to the left. The right side of your lower back. And now do the same thing with your left foot that you just did with the right. Your legs are long, and you begin a small, slow movement, just what's easy, of flexing and extending your left foot. You can feel that when you flex your left foot, the toes come towards your shin. Maybe your lower back on your left side goes a little closer to the floor. And then you extend the foot, not strongly. We do the movement slowly so that our nervous system is available to sense and feel what we're doing. And now bend your left arm. Your upper arm is perpendicular to your left shoulder, and your left elbow is bent. And now resume that opening and closing that really wasn't an opening and closing, but it's just something soft and easy, like a slow motion flower, opening and closing. It can be as slow as you want, as long as you sense and feel what you're doing, and sense and feel where you can do less work, less effort. And now begin to make that movement of your left foot at the same time as you continue the movement of opening and closing your left hand. Just simply the rhythmic relationship and the temporal relationship between your left foot and your left hand will emerge spontaneously. Some people find it more comfortable to flex the foot when they flex the hand. Other people feel it's more comfortable to extend the left hand, the fingers of the left hand, when the left foot flexes. But you find for yourself if one way is easier than the other. And all the while you're feeling where you can reduce the effort in your abdomen, in your mouth and jaw. And now, slowly, lie your left arm on the floor, relax your left foot, and now you observe that difference between the right eye and the left eye, or between the right side of your face and the left side of your face. You feel now that feeling, that sensation, has spread to the left side of yourself. And now bring both arms up so that both arms are in one line. In other words, you could draw a line from your right fingertips across your chest to your left arm to your left fingertips. Both arms are in a line with one another. And slowly now bend both elbows so that both lower arms are directed toward the ceiling, making a letter L shape with your upper arms, and let both hands relax. Let both wrists relax. And now begin to open and close both hands, just slowly, softly, as if the opening of your hands moves the air just slightly, and the closing of your hands moves the air just the tiniest bit. And now begin to flex and extend your feet with the movement of your hands. Just easily. You can begin to move your eyes with the movement of the hands and the feet. But the most important thing is that your breathing is easy, that feeling of ease spreads about your entire self. Your abdomen is soft, your legs, your chest, your throat, and please rest your arms on the floor and just observe the feeling of your contact with the floor as we did at the very beginning of the exercise. The movement of your inhalation in your lower abdomen. You feel that expansion of your lower abdomen actually goes all the way down to your pubic bone. And slowly bend your knees, first one leg and then the other, and then slowly, in your time, roll to your side, and then slowly come to sitting, and slowly come to standing. Sense and feel yourself in standing. Something feels different about yourself. Something feels calmer, more at ease. Thank you for joining me, and till next time.